Good morning, students. Welcome to the online classes of science by RPS Group of Schools. Today, we will continue with Module 2 of the chapter Reproduction in Animals. In this Module 2, we will learn about ovulation, we will learn about fertilization, and then we will learn development of embryo. Ovulation. Ovulation is the release of a mature egg from the female ovary. The process of release of ovum from ovary is called ovulation. The release of eggs enables the egg to be fertilized by the male sperm cells. Normally, in humans, only one egg is released at one time. In females, occasionally two or more erupt during the menstrual cycle. The egg erupts from the ovary on the 14th to 16th day of the approximately 28-day menstrual cycle. If not fertilized, the egg is passed from the reproductive tract during menstrual bleeding, which starts about 2 weeks after ovulation. The hormones that stimulate ovulation are produced in the pituitary gland. These are known as FSH or follicle stimulating hormone and LH, that is luteinizing hormone. After the egg leaves the ovary, the walls of the follicle again close and the space that was occupied by the egg begins to fill with new cells known as the corpus luteum. The corpus luteum secretes the female hormone progesterone, which helps to keep the uterine wall receptive to a fertilized egg. If the egg is not fertilized, the corpus luteum stops secreting progesterone about 9 days after ovulation. If the egg becomes fertilized, progesterone continues to be secreted first by the corpus luteum and then by the placenta until the child is born. Progesterone blocks the release of more hormones from the pituitary gland so that further ovulation does not normally occur during pregnancy. Fertilization in humans. In humans, the fertilization or union of sperm and ovum occurs in the anterior part of oviduct. The process of fusion of sperm with egg to produce zygote is called fertilization. It is the crucial and primary stage of sexual reproduction. During sexual intercourse, the penis ejaculates millions of sperms into the vagina of the woman. Sperms will travel through the uterus to oviducts or fallopian tube. At oviduct, 1 out of million sperms fertilizes the released ovum. The fertilized egg develops into a zygote. Without the fusion of gametes, sexual reproduction is useless or futile. It doesn't occur in asexual reproduction. Fertilization in most of the animals is similar to that in humans. Animals also produce gametes for fusion, but the fusion of gametes may take place inside or outside the female body. Based on this, fertilization is of two types: internal and external fertilization. Internal fertilization. In sexual reproduction, the male inserts the sperms into the female reproductive tract to fuse with the egg. If the fusion takes place within the female parent, it is called internal fertilization. In humans, most of the animals like cats, lions, pigs, dogs, hens, etc., the fusion of gametes takes place internally. External fertilization. When the fusion of sperm and egg takes place outside the female parent, it is called external fertilization. Only some organisms exhibit this type of gamete fusion. For example, fish, frogs, etc. Here, the female parent deposits her eggs in a place and simultaneously the male parent ejects his sperms over them, after which the fusion takes place. Gametes that fuse externally have to face many challenges. Since eggs and sperms are deposited in the external environment, the chances of fusion are very less. Predators may eat the eggs and the zygote. To compensate this loss, organisms like fish and frogs lay hundreds of eggs at a time. IVF, in vitro fertilization. Students, in some women, oviducts are blocked. These women are unable to bear babies because sperms cannot reach the egg for fertilization. In such cases, doctors collect freshly released egg and sperms and keep them together for a few hours for IVF or in vitro fertilization. It is a method in which ovum collected from a female's body is allowed to fuse with sperm collected from a male's body in an external medium or outside the body of the female. The zygote so developed is allowed to grow in vitro, that is, in glass, for about a week and then implanted in the female's uterus where it further develops as a normal embryo. A baby born by this technique is called test tube baby. This term is actually misleading because babies cannot grow in test tubes. Development of embryo. After fertilization, the zygote passes into the uterus or womb. It divides again and again to form the embryo. The embryo becomes embedded in the lining of the wall of the uterus. This process is called implantation. On reaching the uterus, the embryo attaches itself to the wall of uterus by placenta. The embryo obtains nutrients and oxygen from mother's blood through placenta and continues to grow and develop all its body parts. At 2 months, the embryo starts resembling the human form and thus it is called fetus. It takes 9 months for the embryo to grow and develop into a fully formed baby in human. This period is called gestation period. The fetus is attached to the uterus by a special structure called the placenta. The placenta is responsible for providing oxygen and nutrients and removing waste materials. Woman with embryo attached to uterine wall is called pregnant and this condition is called pregnancy. The development and growth of fetus is completed by the end of 280 days and mother gives birth to a baby. The act of giving birth to a baby is called parturition. With this, we end up module 2. We'll join you soon with another module. Till then, goodbye.